Do you ever feel completely drained, like you're exhausted and running on empty? If so, it might not be a you problem, it might be burnout. Burnout can feel like exhaustion, but often it's our body's way of telling us that we're not living in a way that's true to who we are. Today I'm going to break down how burnout could be a signal that you're actually living in a way that is out of alignment with your core values, and how understanding this can help you start feeling recharged and excited about life again. Hey everyone, I'm Kelsey. Today I want to talk about something that most of us experience at some point or another: burnout. You know that feeling when you're just exhausted, mentally, physically, emotionally, and it seems like no amount of rest helps? Yeah, that's burnout. For many of us, burnout isn't just about having too much on our plates. It's actually about our life not being in alignment with who we are and our core values. It's a sign that we're living out of sync, that we're not living in a way that really honors what matters most to us. We are misaligned. I know this firsthand. I actually went through an intense period of burnout. Hopefully, through some of these tips, your recovery period from burnout and misalignment doesn't have to be quite as long as mine. So let's start by breaking down burnout just a bit. It's more than feeling tired. Burnout shows up differently for everybody, but some of the signs include feeling empty, constantly stressed, having low energy, or even resenting parts of our lives. But instead of thinking of these things as problems, what if we saw them as signals? When you're feeling burnt out, often it's because there's a misalignment between what you're doing day to day and what you actually value deep down. Think about this. If you're working in a job that you can't stand and you don't like the work culture, maybe you feel unfulfilled by the tasks, that's a sign of misalignment in your career. Now, I don't mean that we don't all do things that we don't like sometimes. That's a completely different story, a completely different thing. But I'm talking about full-on misalignment. So maybe you really value creativity and freedom, but your job feels rigid and stifling. Or maybe in relationships, you feel drained because you're constantly giving, but you're not receiving. That's misalignment between your needs and what you're actually experiencing. This misalignment can happen in so many areas, whether it's our work, our relationships, or even how we care for ourselves. It doesn't always mean that you need a drastic change. It just means that we need to notice these things and pause and realign ourselves. Right now is a really good time for you to start thinking about areas in your own life where you might be experiencing this misalignment. Think about when you're doing things on a day-to-day basis, what things leave you feeling drained and tired. And again, I'm not talking about cleaning the bathroom or some of the things that we just have to do as humans. Well, I guess we don't have to clean the bathroom. You know what I mean. I'm talking about day-to-day things that leave you feeling drained. Start thinking about those as we go through the rest of this video, because those are good clues of areas that you're misaligned. Maybe take out a notebook and write them down as we go through this. All right, I'm going to share a little snippet of my own personal journey here. There was a time that I was feeling so burnt out, and I went through 2 periods of burnout. One of them was just true burnout. I just did way too much. It was crazy period of life, and that happens every once in a while. But the period that I'm talking about is different. I was working a lot, but I felt like I was constantly running on empty. No matter how much I tried to rest or recharge, at this point in my life, I didn't have any kids, so I was able to sleep a full night. These days, I'm tired because I have a 1-year-old. Anyway, no matter how much I tried to rest or recharge, I still felt this heaviness. And I realized that I didn't need more time off because I came back from a vacation and I was still tired. And again, not just tired because I had been up and done a bunch of exploring on the vacation, nothing like that. I was just tired because my life was out of alignment. After some reflection, I realized that, again, I didn't need more rest. I needed to realign. I needed to bring my life back into a place that I was operating within the realm of things that really mattered to me and aligned with my core values. At the time, I was working for somebody who did not have my same sense of integrity. I was working in a situation that day to day, every single day, I had to operate in a way that went against my values. And I didn't do anything illegal. I'm not saying that, but the culture and the mode of operation in this company was just not, it just didn't feel good. It didn't align with me. It didn't align with who I was and who I am and what my core values are and what I want to leave with this world. I realized I wasn't honoring my own need for freedom, for creativity, and again, my own need to make sure that I was living within my integrity. Once I identified this, I began being able to make some small shifts. I wasn't able to just up and leave that job immediately. That took a while, but I was able to start saying no to some things that were outside of my general scope. I was able to start adding in some things to my life that were outside of work. Again, this work situation took some time to change. but I was able to start adding in projects on the side that really spoke to my creativity, that helped me feel like I was starting to live out my purpose a little bit more. That's when things started to change. I started to feel a renewed sense of energy. I felt like I was finally, at least in some areas of my life, realigning with my true value, my true purpose. That's the essence of why we experience burnout. It's when we're disconnected from our true selves. Everything feels harder. Burnout can come in different forms. It looks different for everybody, and the cause is different for everybody. And sometimes it's truly that you have done too much. I would argue and say that that's another example of misalignment. You are doing more than what your body can handle. That's not taking care of yourself. So I would argue, all cases, burnout stems from living outside of your core values, not living in alignment with who you are and what you really value. All right, I personally hate spending time watching videos that just leave me with the, okay, cool, now what? So let's get into some actionable tips, some things that you can start doing right now that can help you to start reconnecting to yourself and realigning your life if you're feeling burnt out. Okay, so if you took out that notebook a little while ago, pull it back out. Make sure you're taking notes on this. Number 1, reflect on your core values. Start by getting clear on what matters most to you. Think about what really brings you joy, what inspires you, what lights you up and energizes you. Write those things down. Is it connection? Is it freedom? Is it creativity? I don't know. There's a million different things it could be. And every person is a little bit different. Some people are lit up by accounting. Some people are completely drained by that. So a little tip on this. Just because you are good at something does not mean that it is in alignment with your core values or what you should be doing with your life. Just because we are good at something, let me say it again, just because you are good at something does not mean that's what you ought to be doing. It might still be draining to you. So stop, take a few minutes and reflect on those things that really matter most to you, and don't think about what you're good at, unless that's what matters most to you. All right, number 2 is to audit your time and your energy. So look at your day, look at your week, look at your month, look at everything that you do on a day-to-day basis. This sounds really intense. It doesn't have to be this. So start looking at what does your Monday look like? What does your Tuesday? What does your Wednesday look like? Look at all of the activities that you do, from getting up in the morning to cooking to going to work to whatever things that you have to do. If you have to drop kids off at school, if you have to go to after school activity, whatever the things are, audit them, write them all down, and beside them, write a plus or a minus. If it adds energy to your life, and again, I'm not talking about the things that we must do. Some things are just part of life, eating or taking care of our kids. But laundry might not be. Some things you can outsource anyway. Write these things down and put a plus or a minus beside things that bring energy to you and take it away. If you value growth, but you spend most of your time in repetitive tasks over and over again, that might be a source of burnout. That might be one of the areas that is really misaligned. You don't have to make drastic changes here, right? This is more about understanding what is causing your burnout. So small adjustments can bring you closer to alignment. Again, just look at your day, look at your week, go as small or as big as you want to, but look at all of those tasks that you do just so you have a picture of what things are draining you and what things are energizing you. Number 3, this is a tough one, but it's probably one of the most important. Create boundaries that support your well-being. One of the quickest ways to get back in sync is to start saying no to things that drain you. Ask yourself, is this activity, this person, this commitment, this experience, is it going to be nourishing to me or is it draining me? It's really okay to prioritize your well-being. And just like on an airplane where you are supposed to put in your oxygen mask first, if you are not okay, you can't be at your best to take care of the things that you're responsible for. So this is really important. And like I said, I know it's one of the hardest things, but it is really okay to focus on and prioritize your own well-being. These are just a few simple steps, but they're quick and they're easy, and they're a way that you can start today to identify where misalignment is happening and start bringing your life back into a place of energy and fulfillment. Burnout can be really difficult to experience, but it's an invitation. It's an invitation to reconnect with who we truly are. If you're ready to dig deeper and begin realigning your life, I've created a burnout reconnection checklist. It'll be linked below in the description. The checklist will start helping you identify areas in your life that you might be the most out of alignment. It'll help you to just take a quick snapshot of where you are right now and where you really want to be. Again, the link is in the description below. Download it and start reconnecting with yourself. If this resonates with you, stay tuned. I'll be sharing more in future videos, and I also have a workshop coming up in the new year to help refine yourself and realign with your true purpose. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.